Hello there and welcome back to Friendonkey Wrestling Season 2. Last time out, it was Chaos and Carnage. Coming off the back of Backlash and as we go full steam ahead towards Money in the Bank, the women's division, the tag team division, it all sort of imploded a little bit. As Rhea Ripley still making her presence felt, but coming up short with an ambush on Bianca Belair, and we crowned new number one contenders to, well, crown's probably the wrong word. We decided new number one contenders to the tag team championships in quite a fast-paced, hectic, fatal four-way tornado tag. And the number one contenders are the ones, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, and they will be stepping into action to kick off the show this evening. In the main event, the number one contender to the FDW Championship, Drew McIntyre, will be taking on Dragon Lee in a bit of a dong measuring contest with Seth Rollins. For anything you can do, I can do better. So without further ado, the tag team championships are on the line. As I alluded to last week, they've had a bit of a redesign. I saw Bray and Karrion Kross walking around with them backstage last week, and they were looking forward to debuting them. Will this debuting of the belts be their undoing, or losing the belts as they're stepping into the ring with the Usos? Again, we need to have a bit of a chat with them about their entrance, as it's just them, there is no Roman. They're just clearly looking to fly the flag of the bloodline still, and what better way to do so than grabbing themselves the FDW Tag Team Championships, no longer the WWE Tag Team Champs, representing the purple brand. Now this will be an interesting matchup, as the Usos, just a career defined by tag team success, really. But so far, Bray and Karrion Kross, this is the only success they've had as a unit. As there is the first belt. You can't really take it in for all it is at the minute because of Karrion Kross's monochromatic entrance. But stepping up next is the other half of the tag team champions. Now, just the sheer fact that the Usos came down to the ring together, surely that bodes well for them. We've underestimated Bray and Kross before, and they were the ones who managed to salvage, reforge the tag team division, not just the championships, the entire division. So they've probably got a bit more personal investment in this match than the Usos have. As the door flies open, will Bray step through it? Or will we just stare into the abyss? Time will tell. The smoke pouring across the stage. Clearly Doug is hanging out with RVD backstage. It's the ganj flying thick and fast. And there we can see the other half of the tag team champions, Bray Wyatt. Donkeys front and centre on the FDW Championship. And who better to call this down the middle than referee Jimmy? That's what it's all about here to kick off this edition of FDW.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall.
It is one fall to a finish. No crazy shenanigans like the tornado tag last week. The debuting the championships. Will that be also kissing goodbye to the championships? Time will tell. As the crowd falls silent. Calls for the bell, and we're off to the races. Jay immediately looking to get one up on Karrion Kross, but Kross having none of it. Now I hope the hubris doesn't go to the Usos' head on this one. As yes, they may be flying the flag for the bloodline. But they've got another thing coming if they think they can just assert their dominance here. Straight away. Although Kross and Bray may not have been a tag team for nearly as long as the Usos have. And that time being since the womb. They've proven on time and time again that they can come up. They can get it done when it matters. As the Usos now with that big Samoan drop. Lest we forget, on the debut edition of FDW Season 2, we saw Bray and Karrion Kross go 2-on-2 with the then Cruiserweight Champion Ricochet and still your TV and World Champion Seth Rollins, and they managed to not quite get the job done on that occasion. The dynamic very different in this match. This is a tag-on-tag situation. Two tag teams that know each other very well, none more so than the Usos. Case in point, double super kick there to Karrion Kross as he thinks about making a tag, and he does. Getting to Wyatt. As they tie up now, Jimmy Uso and Bray Wyatt. Slamming Jimmy off the top turnbuckle there as Wyatt slips to the outside and hops back in, just keeping Jimmy on his toes. Both the Uso and the referee are not knowing what he's going to do next. Well, the Usos perhaps not ready for Bray Wyatt's unorthodox style. Could that be a difference maker in this kind of matchup as Jay now heads to the top rope and looks for a big splash? We saw that was all it took from Jimmy last week to secure this matchup. Will it be enough to get the win? Bray now with disrespectful slaps and a big slam there. Almost Uranagi type slam there from Bray Wyatt as Karrion Kross steps back between the ropes, and big running knee to Uso, getting him down to the mat. Jimmy looking for the 3 count, only on one on this occasion. But it is those quick pinfall attempts that can really keep your opponent off balance. Uso with a big clubbing forearm. Karrion Kross needing to power out of it. Again, we've seen this from Kross. But he can just keep going when it matters. Just when the opponent thinks they have the upper hand, that's when he strikes. Looking ahead to the remainder of this evening, we do still have Drew McIntyre versus Dragon Lee in singles action as Karrion Kross goes for the pinfall, looking to retain. Can it be 3? Not even 2 on this occasion. Gonna have to dig deeper than that. We will be seeing Liv Morgan taking on Cora Jade as well in singles action. Hopefully this time we actually will see the women take part in the ring, as Jay with quick kicks getting Kross down to the ring. And the Money in the Bank qualifying matches will continue as well, as we'll be seeing the one and only Ricochet taking on Cedric Alexander. Winner gets a spot in the Money in the Bank match. Lost to play for on that one. Cedric kind of earning that right after picking up a victory last week. And Ricochet being given an opportunity for a match like that just because of who he is. Back to the action now as Kross flings Jey Uso to his corner, splitting up the Usos. Smart strategy, we've seen it time and time again. Separate the opponents, get the upper hand, whittle them down. Cross taking charge on this one in a traditional sense, but Bray Wyatt with the mind games, the unorthodox approach, and that's perhaps what makes the team of Bray and Karrion Kross so dangerous, so unpredictable. For what they're going to do next. But Jey Uso with a quick Samoan drop there. Looking to isolate Bray Wyatt now, get him away from Kross. If they can figure out his strategy. Bray Wyatt knows his own strategy. Wyatt separated from Kross now, as the Usos look to make their presence felt. Getting Wyatt up for a potential powerbomb. And there it is. Could this be it? Does Kross have what it takes? Will he get in? Trust his partner. But Bray Wyatt would kick out, and he did. Not wanting to use their breakup just yet. Quick super kick to the back of the head from Jimmy Uso, and now perhaps Mark Kross will need to intervene. A blow to the head to anyone is enough to catch them off balance, and it appears to be advantage Usos as Jimmy thinks about going to the top, and this secured the match. Uso splash. Jey now, or Jimmy on top of Bray Wyatt. Still not quite enough to get it done. You've got to feel like the end is near. Bray needs to get back to his corner. He needs Kross's help here, as the Usos have him cornered, quite literally. Into the corner now as Bray quickly gets the upper hand. Quick headbutt, and a few more for good measure. Tag championships in the balance, up in the air. Bray choking Jimmy down to the mat. Looking to roll him over. Hook to the leg. Could it be 3? Only 1. But will they be the ones to claim tag championship gold? Is Bray Wyatt manhandling Jimmy Uso? And then just setting his sights on Jey, showing that he's nobody's fool. And dropping Jey on the apron. Toughest part of the ring, and that's gotta hurt. Karrion Kross just watching on as Bray goes to town on the Usos. Perhaps the Usos underestimated Bray Wyatt, thinking they had the upper hand on the more unorthodox approach. Count of 5 now from Jimmy, up to a count of 6. And at this point, I'd like to remind you that championships or champion's advantage is in effect. If it goes to count out or disqualifications, Bray and Kross will retain. Jimmy Uso now putting an absolute shift for the Usos, and by extension the bloodline, as Jimmy pins Kross to a count of 2. As Kross and Wyatt look to regroup on the outside. Countdown started again. Advantage Kross at this moment in time. Count of 5 now as Kross sets his sights on Jey Uso. Count of 6 is Jimmy just getting his win back. Count of 7. Jimmy needs to think about getting back into the ring, not just standing around dawdling, watching his brother be taken apart. Don't know what he was thinking of there. But that is a level of trust between the Usos I don't think we've seen from any other tag team here on FDW. To just let your partner get dismantled while you catch the legal man off guard and slam him like that. Quick clubbing blows. And again, the ball is back in the Usos' court. Could this be enough? Kick to the back now. Taking Kross down and bringing him to the mat. Do the Usos have what it takes to dethrone the tag champs? Stomping now, a mud hole in the corner. As Jimmy tees him up. Jimmy been putting in an absolute shift here. The Uso and the ref. As Jimmy Uso looks to hook the leg. Count of 1, count of 2. And the new FDW Tag Team Champions.
Here are your winners, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, the Blood.
Now, if that wasn't ominous, I don't know what is. As once again, the Usos claim tag gold, but for the first time, they grab hold of the FDW Tag Team Championships. As the tag division gets blown wide open. Interesting scenes are afoot. Speaking of interesting scenes, we have the #1 contender to Bianca Belair in the FDW Women's Championship. Going one-on-one with Cora Jade here this evening. Looking for a little bit of a tune-up. She will be taking on Bianca Belair.
Making her way to the ring from Elmwood Park, New Jersey, Liv Morgan.
Now Liv Morgan winning a gauntlet match to claim the #1 contendership. But stepping up against Cora Jade, no less. We saw Cora Jade's got a mean streak to her in the gauntlet match. But she was a bit disappointed she didn't manage to get her hands on anyone really, other than Kairi Sane, who put in a hell of a performance, I must say. So she's looking to get her hands on some of the other fresh talent here in the women's division. But immediately Liv Morgan teeing off. Much like she did in the gauntlet match. Cora Jade looking to get back to a vertical base. And you've got to be thinking, if you're Bianca Belair, you'll be watching this match carefully to know what your opponent's going to be like, having never faced Liv Morgan before. As Cora Jade throws caution to the wind, and on this occasion coming up really short, nearly breaking her damn neck in the process. Morgan looking to capitalise on it though. And if you're Liv Morgan, you've got to be looking to try out many different facets of offense against many different opponents. As an opponent like Bianca Belair, who can do it all, she's like a Swiss Army knife. She can cut open a letter and be a magnifying glass at the same time. Liv Morgan with a big crossbody to the outside now, and those high-risk maneuvers paying off for the #1 contender. As the women's division looks to go from strength to strength here. There's been no update from Rhea Ripley since last week, since she was carted off to the hospital. So no one has seen nor heard from her, which I suppose is good news for Bianca Belair more than anyone, but also Liv Morgan. Knowing that Ripley's out of the picture and not looking to spoil the party, Liv Morgan could get on with the job ahead of trying to capture some championship gold. She looks to take control of this matchup, and Cora Jade powering out. Stretching now and just wearing down Liv Morgan in the corner. Frustration from Cora Jade setting in. She looks to go for the cover. Only a 1 count. Kip up from Morgan as Cora Jade immediately into the Hurricane Rana. Backwards and forwards this match goes. Cora Jade now looking to make that high risk move connect, and on this occasion it does, with a huge crossbody. FDW faithful really getting their money's worth here this evening. Still to come, Cedric Alexander versus Ricochet in the Money in the Bank qualifying match, and Drew McIntyre versus Dragon Lee. A little bit of one-upsmanship as everyone looks ahead to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Where Drew will be challenging for the world title. Cora Jade dropping like it's hot, like a meteor from the top. Morgan able to kick out though. She looks to set her up. Setting her up for the fade to black, but Morgan powering out. Springboard rolling through. And dropping Cora Jade down to the mat. Big knee to the side of the head from Liv Morgan. That's going to have Cora Jade dazed and confused as Liv Morgan looks for oblivion. That could be it. Count of 1, count of 2, and there's the 3. Liv Morgan standing tall en route to a championship. Oh my god! No one had seen or heard from her. But clearly she's out the hospital. Just dropping both Liv Morgan and Cora Jade. Well, that's a turn up for the books. Clearly Rhea Ripley not done at all. Not happy. Just dropping anyone. I don't know what's gotten into her. The spirit of Bronson would live on, it appears, in Rhea Ripley. As the women's division is in utter chaos right now. What's it going to take to get some order back into the swing of things? But parking that for one side, to one side for one moment. Qualifying match now for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Ricochet versus Cedric Alexander. Now, Cedric coming off the back of a victory over Johnny Gargano last time out. Ricochet away for a bit, licking his wounds. Perhaps a little bit miffed that he was so unceremoniously dethroned by Ilya Dragunov. In one of the most dominant displays I've ever seen against Ricochet in any match, really. Never seen that from him. Both these men looking to take the next step, as it were, in the Money in the Bank match, looking for world title success. Ricochet granted this opportunity based on his track record, and Cedric, having picked up a victory, looking to see what he can do next. Can he convert wins into more wins? Just like the man he's standing across from. There's one man coming down the ladder as another man looks to climb, as Ricochet off the second rope lion salt there. The aggression from Trev into the high knee. Now, interestingly enough, both these men cruiserweights, so I'm sure this is not the only time we'll see these two cross paths, but it's certainly the first, as Ricochet looks to taunt Cedric Alexander and then just rolls out. Interesting approach here from the former cruiserweight champion. Cedric looks to take charge of the match. Winner of this match will be joining CM Punk and Tyler Breeze in the Money in the Bank match, which is already shaping up to be an absolute banger. Cedric slams Ricochet down to the mat. As Jimmy slides into position, only a 1 count from Cedric. Swift kicks from Alexander, rocking Ricochet. And those quick strikes again. Ricochet caught off balance. I've never seen him like this. It's the new blood. Been enough to throw Ricochet off of his game. Kip up now as he looks to take control of the matchup, wrapping up Cedric Alexander. One of the pillars of FDW as Ricochet connects with a big boot, almost swatting Cedric Alexander like a fly out of mid-air. Ricochet once again showing that he can do it all. Only a 1 count. It's going to take more. You'll need some hard-hitting moves, big moves if you're going to break the 2 count, if you're going to get the 3. Jimmy now, there's a count of 1. Bit slow on the count on that one, I must say, Jimmy. Cedric Alexander hits the basement drop kick and just looks to tear Ricochet apart. Taunting now, and it really is those taunts that allow Ricochet to spring back to his feet and get second wind. Cedric can't fall for any of that. He can't allow himself to get distracted. The moment he does is when the moment Ricochet bites you, but dropping the leg on the outside. Cedric seems to have Ricochet's number. All this new blood in the Cruiserweight division seem to have his number, but Ricochet fighting on through. Standing shooting star press. Huge flip to the outside, and immediately, with just 2 or 3 quick moves, Ricochet's back in control, showing that a few strikes are not going to be enough to tear him down. With another big pump kick there from Ricochet. A third standing shooting star press. And this is just outrageous. How out of seemingly nowhere Ricochet is back in control. Count of 4. We saw last week Tyler Breeze pick up victory via count out. As Cedric has busted open. Blood has been spilled. And it was always going to be, particularly between 2 cruiserweights of the caliber such as this. Count of 7 now. If this ends on a double count out, I don't know what we'll do. Jimmy hits a count of 8 as Ricochet brings it back to the ring. Stomp to the back of Alexander and hook to the leg. Could this be 3? Count of 2, and perhaps Ricochet took a little bit too long on the outside as he hooks to the top rope. Shooting star press. That could be it, folks. And there's 3. Finding his way into the Money in the Bank ladder match, the one and only Ricochet. As that ladder match is starting to look extra spicy now, I'm not gonna lie. But at what cost? Cedric Alexander putting a game performance there. But when it counts, we know Ricochet time and time again can get it done. And your main event for this evening, mimicking each other quite well there. Drew McIntyre standing across from Dragon Lee. As the dong measuring contest continues. While I adjust my headset, folks. Number 1 contenders are plenty here this evening, seeing both Liv and Drew McIntyre in action. But this time out, it was Drew that asked for this match specifically against Dragon Lee. Not like last time, where Dragon Lee wanted to step up against Seth Rollins. Is this that vicious side of Drew McIntyre now? He's going to have to keep on the vicious side if he's looking to take down Seth Rollins. Dragon Lee with a couple of losses now to his name. Could he potentially pick up a huge win over Drew McIntyre? You have to set the world alight just as much as Drew McIntyre does in his entrance. But Drew immediately having none of it, towering over the luchador. Dragon Lee, very successful around the world. No stranger to championship gold. And a standing shooting star press. And a second, but not quite. Drew with it scouted. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on Drew. McIntyre now getting Dragon Lee up and flinging him off to the second rope, looking to be firmly in control, not letting Dragon Lee get any of it. There's that aggression of McIntyre I alluded to. Clubbing blows, just brutal. Now, I believe McIntyre asked for this match not just because it was Dragon Lee and Seth beat him last week, but also to kind of get a bit of a tune-up, to fight all kinds of different opponents. He knows Seth can do it all. The strikes, the strength, the technicality, the high flying. 2 count already as Dragon Lee kicks out. Will the quickness of Lee be enough to catch Drew off guard? But power like that you just cannot argue with as he kicks out, and Dragon Lee must be hurting. After beatdown after beatdown, loss after loss, they've eventually got to take their toll. As McIntyre, with a huge blow across the chest, again looks for a huge deadlift power slam. Dragon Lee almost clinging on for dear life on that occasion. But McIntyre showing that he can do it all just as much. Lee with it scouted though. V-trigger knee from Dragon Lee. Drew McIntyre back to the middle of the ring now as Dragon Lee goes up top. What's he going for? The high risk maneuver, elbow drop. As the knee pad comes down. We saw this against Dragunov in his debut. Is this enough? There it is. He rolls on through and slams McIntyre down to the mat. It's a 2 count, and that's a huge win for Dragon Lee. Oh, and that has got to damage the confidence of Drew McIntyre there, but oh, the sarcastic clap of Seth Rollins. Hubris once again being the folly of so many a man, none more so than Drew McIntyre. Yet another successful outing for FDW, I must say. The Money in the Bank match is starting to take shape. The women's division in utter chaos, and we have some new tag team champions in the form of the Usos. Lord knows what's going to happen next, especially in the women's division. I'm looking forward to finding out, and I hope you are too. Catch you down the road. See you soon.